Welcome back to the channel everyone. Today we are going to talk about a very interesting coin that many people have in their pocket change but very few know could be worth big money. It's the 2000 South Carolina quarter from the United States. This coin is part of the 50-state quarters program and has its own special history, design, and in some rare cases, very valuable mint errors that make it worth a lot more than just 25 cents. So grab your coin jars and let's talk about why this little piece of metal could be worth anywhere from a few cents to thousands of dollars. The 2000 South Carolina quarter was released in the year 2000 as part of the state quarters program that ran from 1999 to 2008. Each state in the U.S. got its own special design on the back of the quarter, celebrating its symbols and history. The D in 2000 means the coin was made at the Denver Mint. More than 566 million of these coins were produced there, so there are plenty of them around. Because so many were made, most of these coins are very common and worth only their face value. But as you'll soon learn, a small number have something special about them that can make them worth a surprising amount of money. Now let's talk about what this coin looks like. On the front, or obverse, of the coin, you'll see the familiar portrait of George Washington, which appears on all U.S. quarters. On the back, or reverse, there's a design that celebrates South Carolina. You'll see a palmetto tree in the middle, which is the state tree. To the right, there's a small bird called the Carolina wren, the state bird. You'll also notice an outline of the state of South Carolina, a tiny star showing the capital city of Columbia, and the phrase, the Palmetto State. This design was made to represent South Carolina's culture and history. It's a nice design, and for most people, it's just a regular quarter. But as collectors know, each coin tells a story, and sometimes a small mistake during minting can turn an ordinary coin into something worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Most of these quarters are worth 25 cents if they've been used in circulation. If the coin has never been used, what collectors call uncirculated, it might be worth between $1 and $5 depending on its condition. A perfect example, graded by a professional service, might sell for a little more, but not a fortune. The reason for this is simple: the U.S. Mint made hundreds of millions of them. The more common a coin is, the less valuable it usually becomes. But every now and then, something goes wrong during the minting process, and that's when a coin's value can jump dramatically. Errors can happen in many different ways when coins are made. Sometimes a coin is struck more than once by the machine, creating what's called a multiple strike error. Other times, the coin is struck off-center, meaning part of the design is missing or shifted to one side. Some coins can be struck on the wrong kind of metal blank, or planchet, which also makes them rare. There are even cases where two dies that were never meant to be used together were accidentally paired. This last type is called a mule error, and it's one of the rarest types of coin mistakes. One of the most famous errors connected to the 2000 South Carolina quarter is the mule error that combines the front of a 2000 Sacagawea dollar with the back of the South Carolina quarter. This is an incredible mistake because it should be impossible for two different denominations to be struck together. Yet a few of these were made and somehow escaped the mint. One of these rare mule coins sold for around $84,000 at auction. That's right, a 25-cent coin that sold for more than many cars cost brand new. This shows just how powerful rarity and minting mistakes can be in the coin collecting world. Another example of a valuable error is the 2000 South Carolina quarter that was struck 9 times on an aluminum scrap. Normally quarters are made on copper-nickel planchets, but in this case, the coin was struck on a piece of aluminum that wasn't meant to be used. The fact that it was hit 9 times by the dies made it even stranger. This particular coin sold for almost $3,000. Other known errors include missing clad layers, broadstrikes, and off-center strikes. Each type of error has a different look and a different level of rarity, and the more unusual or dramatic the mistake, the more valuable the coin tends to be. If you want to know whether your 2000 South Carolina quarter might be one of the rare ones, the first thing to do is look closely at it. Make sure you check the mint mark under the word, "In God We Trust," on the front of the coin. It should have a small letter, D. Next, hold the coin under good light and maybe even use a magnifying glass to look for anything that seems strange. Is the design off-center? Does it look like the coin was hit more than once? Does it have a shiny copper color showing through where the outer layer is missing? Or is there something totally weird, like a different coin's design showing up on one side? These are signs of mint errors. If you find something like this, it might be worth having it looked at by a professional. If you really think you have something special, you can send your coin to a professional grading company such as PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, or NGC, Numismatic Guarantee Company. They can tell you if the coin is genuine and what its condition and grade are. Having your coin graded and certified adds a lot of credibility, and if it's an actual error coin, it could also add a lot of value. Collectors and dealers are much more willing to pay high prices for coins that have been authenticated by trusted grading services. It's also very important not to clean your coin. Cleaning can damage it and actually make it worth less, even if it's rare. Now, while it's fun to dream about finding one of these valuable error coins, it's important to be realistic. Most 2000D South Carolina quarters are not rare. They were made in huge numbers, and almost all of them are normal. The big money comes from very special examples that had unusual mistakes. These kinds of errors are extremely rare and hard to find. So if you have a regular 2000D South Carolina quarter in your pocket or coin jar, it's probably worth only a quarter, maybe a little more if it's uncirculated and in perfect shape. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't look. After all, people do find rare coins in their everyday change from time to time. The value of a coin depends on three main things: rarity, condition, and demand. The rare errors are what make some coins worth a fortune. The condition matters because a coin in mint condition looks sharper and cleaner. And demand is simply how many collectors are willing to pay for it. A rare error coin that's also in beautiful condition can easily be worth thousands. But one that's damaged or worn down might only be worth a fraction of that. That's why collectors always recommend handling coins carefully and storing them properly. So, to sum everything up, the 2000D South Carolina quarter is an interesting part of U.S. coin history. It celebrates the state of South Carolina with a beautiful design showing its bird, tree, and nickname. Most of these coins are common, but a few rare errors make them extremely valuable. Some have sold for hundreds or thousands of dollars, and in one amazing case, tens of thousands. The trick is knowing what to look for and having your coin checked by professionals if you suspect it's special. That's all for today's video, friends. I hope this helped you understand more about the 2000D South Carolina quarter and why some of them are worth so much money. If you enjoyed this, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with anyone who loves coins or collecting. And remember, always check your change. You never know when you might find a hidden treasure right in your pocket. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.